My cats knocked my camera off of my, which probably, this is totally my fault, but I had my camera out on my office desk and they knocked it over and it just screwed up the lens. So I'm having to kind of improvise. But anyways, so back to what I was talking about. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday here in Jacksonville, Florida, and it's been raining all day, and whenever it rains, I get in the mood to read or just at least get cozy, and whenever I get cozy, I usually pick up a book. So I figured that I would go through the two that I'm currently reading. So you might think it's weird that I read two books at once, but what I like to do is focus on two separate genres. So the first one is, it's actually a popular book right now because it's a major motion picture. So I haven't seen the movie yet, but it looks really good, and I've been hearing so much hype all around from people that have both read the book as well as seen the movie, and they all said that they love it. So I figured I would give it a go. So I'll read the back for you. It says that it's an instant classic and one of the great love stories of our time. So it says, Call Me By Your Name is the story of a sudden and powerful romance that blossoms between an adolescent boy and a summer guest at his parents' cliffside mansion on the Italian Riviera. Each is unprepared for the consequences of their attraction when, during the restless summer weeks, unrelenting currents of obsession, fascination, and desire intensify their passion and test the charged ground between them. Recklessly, the two verge towards one thing both fear they may never truly find again: total intimacy. So this is not the normal book that I typically reach for, if I'm going to be honest. I don't read a lot of love stories or anything like that, but I am, let me see, I'm not that far in. I thought I was further. I'm about 30 pages into this book right now, and it's pretty good. It hasn't gotten into like anything super juicy, which I'm not that surprised because I'm only 30 pages in. So I need to really give this a solid chance before I give you guys my honest feedback. But the way the author writes so far is a little slow, in my opinion. I'm used to books that grab your attention really quick. I read a book, this is going to be a little bit of a side tangent, but I read a book earlier this year. I forget who the author is, so I will pop it up on the screen right here. But it's called The Husband's Secret, and it was so good. It was, I should have grabbed it out. I actually meant to, but I can't find it right now. But I'll pop up what the cover looks right here too, and I'll link all of these books below. Back to The Husband's Secret. Had a little bit of technical difficulties there, but so it was super good. It really made you think. It was this story, and it followed along the perspective of three different women, and they all ended up being intertwined by a school. So either they had kids there, or they worked there, or whatnot, but it's all surrounded by this elementary school, and it is really good. It's all connected by basically this woman finds a letter that was written by her husband, and it's sealed, and it's meant for her to only open in case he dies, but she finds it, and so she opens it anyways, and he's very much alive. So it's really interesting. It's really thought-provoking. I was thinking about like what I would do in that kind of situation, and to be completely honest, I have no idea. So if you have read it and you don't want any spoilers or anything like that, I have a blog, which I'll leave in the comment section, and every single video that I do a blog post to correlate with it. So feel free to like send me a message there or wherever, but I would love to talk about it because none of my friends have read this book, but it's really good. But anyway, so I will give Call Me By Your Name a solid chance and let you know. But I follow some people on Twitter and just friends from along the way, and girls that have commented on this, some say like that it's changed their lives, it's made them cry, like all this stuff. So we will see. I'm excited. I hope I cry. The second book that I'm reading is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. I really like Malcolm Gladwell. This is actually the first book that I've read by him, though. But so far, it just hooked me immediately. This is a completely different book style than Call Me By Your Name. It is psychology. It's also in the self-help section of books. I love these type of books. Self-help has such a bad stipulation around it from at least growing up. I always never had a oh, I'm gonna go check out these self-help books. But lately they've just really boomed and they're so good. They're really great for making you think and just thinking about topics that just educate you. But I will read the back to you. In understanding successful people, we have come to focus far too much on their intelligence and ambition and personality traits. Instead, Malcolm Gladwell argues in Outliers, we should look at the world that surrounds the successful people, their culture, their families, their generations, their idiosyncrasies, experiences of their upbringings. Along the way, Gladwell reveals what the Beatles and Bill Gates have in common, the reason you've never heard the smartest man in the world, why almost no hockey players are born in the fall, and why, when it comes to plane crashes, where the pilots are born matters as much as how well they are trained. The lives of outliers, people whose achievements fall outside the normal experience, follows a peculiar and unexpected logic. And in uncovering that logic, Gladwell represents and presents a fascinating and provocative blueprint for making the most of human potential. It's really interesting. It's not a story, as you can tell, it's psychology, so it goes through just human thought processes and just kind of what gives some people the leg up. So I'm around page 70. This one, it follows, so I just passed the section of Bill Gates and the 10,000 hour rule, and so one chapter in this, it's talking about if you want to be successful at something, if you want to be a professional at something, to be considered a master in your craft, you need to spend at least 10,000 hours practicing whatever trade that might be. And so a typical thing that you think of to practice would be basketball, hockey, just any type of sports. But in retrospect, he's saying look at everything you do as practice. So Bill Gates, he grew up when a computer lab was just launching, and he had one that was accessible to him in his area, and he was so interested in it. And it's when all of these things were first coming into the world. But so he would go there and just spend hours and hours and hours coding, and he would do this for fun. But so what Malcolm Gladwell is saying is look at every single thing you do as practice. And so I have started looking at that in all aspects of my life, from launching my first business to this blog, this vlog, video content. It's just kind of whatever you find your passions in and whatever you want to be successful in. You can't be successful if you don't try, and even though you might not be great at it right now, the more you do it, the more comfortable you will become, the more practiced you will get in it, and the more successful you will be. So I definitely recommend this book. I'm not even halfway done with it, but it already has made a really big impact on the way that I kind of see things, the way that I look at the way that I accomplish work. It's really thought-provoking, so I highly recommend him. I've heard from some of my other friends that his other books are really good as well. So after I finish this one, I definitely will check more of him out. So thank you for joining me on this little book chat conversation thing that we had, a coffee talk little thing on this rainy Friday. It's actually kind of lightened up out there, which is nice. But I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. Again, if you have any books or things that you've listened to lately too, I love podcasts and audiobooks, all of that kind of stuff as well. Please share them below. I'm always looking for suggestions and to meet a new little virtual book buddy pal. But I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.
There's many reasons we are what we've become.